This is Story Recapped. Today, I'm going to explain an action, horror, and mystery film called A Jinn, Demi-Human. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. In an operating room, Subject 003 is strapped down as doctors prepare to amputate his arm. The man can only whimper as they remove his arm. The head of research, Yu Tosaki, orders the doctors to amputate the leg next. He then compares Subject 003 to Subject 002's regeneration and sees no difference. After amputating the leg, a doctor knocks the man out. When he wakes up, the doctors prepare him for more experiments. He attempts to struggle out of the straps as he remembers the day he was hit by a truck. Before anyone could call an ambulance, black particles emitted from his body as he regenerated. Onlookers recorded the event, tagging him as an Jinn or demi-human, a new breed of humans who cannot die, even when mortally wounded. Subject 003, whose real name is Kei Nagai, is the third Jinn discovered in Japan. One of the board members comments that his condition is unsightly, but Tosaki stresses that the Jinns are the key to human evolution. Outside the Jinn research lab, reporters claim that Kei is being held under protection. Suddenly, something explodes within the building. Two armed men named Sato and Tanaka infiltrate the facility. The two split up as Sato addresses the board members, announcing himself as the one who released Tanaka years ago, and he intends to free Kei as well. Tosaki gets security to protect the board members and the minister, while telling his bodyguard Izumi to equip the guards with tranquilizers to capture the two. As guards load their guns with tranquilizers, Sato throws a hostage at them before shooting. He expertly dodges tranquilizer darts as he attacks. When one guard hits him with the tranquilizer, Sato quickly chops his arm off to prevent the substance from spreading. He uses the machete against the guard, then uses his body as a shield. Another guard shoots him in the back, so Sato shoots himself in the head. His body accelerates the regeneration, rebuilding his arm and waking him up to finish the battle. In the lab, Sato introduces himself to Kei as another Jinn. He invites Kei to fight with them for the future of the Jinns. Sato proceeds to eliminate the survivors, while Kei gets dressed. When he corners three of the doctors who tortured Kei, Sato gives him the gun and encourages him to take revenge. But Kei doesn't want to kill. Sato admires his morals, but he kills one of the doctors anyway, since he likes to kill. Before he kills the others, Kei shoots Sato, apologizing but excusing that Sato will be fine since he's an Jinn. Sato yells that he's disappointed before shooting himself in the head to speed up his healing. While he heals, Kei and the surviving doctors run and hide in a storage area. As he approaches, Sato reminds Kei that the doctors who tortured him probably hesitated in harming him, but their hesitation didn't last long. While they're hiding, Kei tells the doctors that he hasn't forgiven them, but surviving comes first. Sato turns a corner and sees a hand on the floor. He approaches but finds that it's severed. Kei jumps from above and stabs Sato in the back, but Sato has also stabbed him in the side. Sato throws Kei off of him and attacks while the doctors flee. Kei jumps over him, knocking the gun out of his hand. Then, Kei throws himself at the shelf to evade Sato's machete, but he's tired and bleeding out. To regenerate faster, he slits his own throat. Once Kei recovers, he grabs Sato's gun from the floor and shoots. Kei reunites with the doctors, but Sato quickly catches up and shoots them. Suddenly, the black particle from Sato's body turns into a headless creature. The ghost charges at Kei, but stops when Kei creates his own ghost. The two ghosts battle, and Kei's ghost proves itself skilled, but is still eventually defeated. While the ghosts are in combat, Kei and the surviving doctor make their escape. Sato notices and shoots the doctor. Sato's ghost defeats Kei's, then blocks Kei's path. Sato shoots Kei, leaving him exhausted, so he creates another ghost to attack Sato. Kei reaches the rooftop, but Sato catches up, so he jumps off the building to escape. That evening, Sato meets with Tanaka, who's confused that Kei isn't with him. Sato recounts that Kei exceeded his expectations, therefore, he wants him in their group. He then dresses up in a suit and coat, while Tanaka poses as a patient in a wheelchair. They stroll in front of the reporters, who immediately recognize Tanaka as the second Jinn. They gather around them, allowing Sato to reveal himself as an Jinn and declare that companies experimented on the Jinns using products like poisonous gas while the government profits from them. He then advertises his website where video footage of the experiments is uploaded. Sato declares that though Jinns don't die, they still feel pain, and therefore he asks for an autonomous area for their protection. While the country is buzzing about Sato's revelations, Kei struggles through the woods to remain hidden. He walks up to a quiet road where an old lady named Yamanaka finds him. She invites him to her home, where she gives him a change of clothes. When Yamanaka leaves to get him food, Kei wonders why she doesn't recognize him. At the hospital, Izumi asks Kei's sister, Eriko, if he has contacted her. Eriko denies it, but she worries about Kei. Izumi sympathizes with her, but Eriko mistakes this as Izumi being related to another Ajin, which Izumi denies. Eriko then decides that she won't share if Kei contacted her, since she believes the reports that the Ajins were experimented on. Suddenly, she sees Izumi lifted in the air. A ghost appears behind Izumi, stabbing her with its claws. When the guards arrive, the ghost tosses Izumi aside, then attacks the men. Frightened, Eriko hides behind her bed. Tanaka controls the ghost from outside the hospital, hoping to catch Kei's attention. However, he's surprised when Izumi gets up, revealing herself as another Ajin. Izumi calls on her ghost, Kuro, who battles with Tanaka's ghost, realizing that he has to fight her. Tanaka heads inside. Izumi leads Eriko out of the room as the two ghosts battle. Izumi helps Kuro fight Tanaka's ghost, but she gets attacked. Izumi jumps out of the room just as Tanaka finds them. Nurses arrive and gather around the women, forcing Tanaka to retreat. At Yamanaka's house, Kei hears the radio reporting the attack at the hospital. Worried about Eriko, he later meets with her at the hospital rooftop. Kei rants how becoming an Ajin threw his life into chaos. He then worries that Eriko isn't safe in the hospital. At their hideout, Sato records a video complaining that the government hasn't responded to their requests, so he's decided to use force. He announces that he'll destroy the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, which runs the research lab. It will be the first wave of attacks, and he invites any Ajins in hiding to fight with them. Kei takes Eriko to Yamanaka's house, who's happy to care for them. That evening, Eriko shares that Kei studied to be a doctor to help with their illness, which Yamanaka admires. The next day, Kei tries to train his ghost, but when he complains that it doesn't follow him, the ghost throws him against a tree. He continues to train the ghost over the next few days, but it's too aggressive and even gets in his way. On the day of Sato's attack, reporters gather at the Ministry of Health building. Extra security and riot squads have been hired to prevent the attack. Confident that the Ajins can't do anything, the minister refuses to evacuate the building. Suddenly, people panic as a plane arrives and crashes into the building. After the building collapses, Sato emerges from the debris, having flown the plane directly into the building. From the opposite building, Tanaka controls a drone to deliver Sato's bag. A few Ajins arrive at the scene, so Sato welcomes them and tells them to watch. The riot squad corners Sato, but he isn't impressed. Sato addresses the public from his microphone, declaring the beginning of the second wave. He then calls out to Kei, inviting him to witness their true power. An officer quickly shoots Sato in the head, and the others continue firing while transferring him to a gurney. They prevent him from regenerating by continuously shooting while they carry him away. Tanaka uses a sniper rifle to take out the officers, diverting their attention away from Sato. Sato finally regenerates and proceeds to attack, quickly decimating the squad. Sato shoots himself in the head, thus hitting his captor. He regenerates instantly and fires at the others. After being hit on the neck, Sato jumps behind the debris while strangling an officer with his own gun, then shoots himself on the head again to recover faster. Sato then takes the officer's grenade and jams it into his helmet before pushing the man onto his comrades. Seeing Eriko flinch at the sight, Kei turns off his laptop. Suddenly, people knock on the door, demanding to see him since they know he's an Ajin. Kei quickly gets ready to leave and thanks Yamanaka for her hospitality. Yamanaka reveals that she knew who he was, but she simply wanted to help because they needed her. She offers to distract the people while he and Eriko escape. After defeating the squad, Sato records a video to demand that the government surrender Tokyo to the Ajins within 20 days. Otherwise, he'll release nerve gas throughout the entire city. Due to the attacks, the public has grown fear over the Ajins. At the Crisis Management Center, Tasaki accepts a call from Sato. Tasaki offers the Ajins an uninhabited island as their autonomous zone, but Sato insists on taking Tokyo, so he ends the call. Some of the other Ajins grow skeptical over Sato's intentions, so they leave, but Sato shoots them. Okuyama suggests decapitating the traitors and putting their heads in drums, and Sato agrees. Meanwhile, Tasaki is forced to take the fall for the Ajins' attacks. The government has also formed a special anti-demi unit. With the days passing by, many Tokyo citizens have evacuated from the city. At the research lab, Tasaki's car is attacked by an unseen force as he's driving. He heads out and spots Kei hidden behind the reporters. That evening, the two talk under a bridge. Kei offers his help to stop Sato, but in exchange, he demands the government to put Eriko under protection, while Kei will be given a new identity and will no longer be hunted down. He adds that he knows about Tasaki's fiancée, and if he doesn't fulfill his end of the deal, Kei will deal with her. The next day, Kei shares his plans at the research lab. Knowing that the nerve gas Sato intends to use can only be found at the Forge Heavy Industries, they believe that he'll steal it there first. Tasaki also requested the new anti-demi unit to help, but he doesn't think they'll be given the authorization. Tasaki is confident that Sato will use the company's nerve gas since it was specifically tested on him, thus it will be his revenge against humans. At the hideout, Takahashi and Gen enthuse about their mission, but wonder if Sato is crazy. Tanaka notes that when he spent 2 years being experimented on, it made him hate humans and want to destroy the planet. In contrast, Sato was experimented on for 20 years. Tasaki's team arrives at the Forge Heavy Industries and meets with the CEO. With the nerve gas hidden in his office, Kei recommends setting the trap in the lobby next to it. Unbeknownst to them, Okuyama has entered the building and heads to the server room to switch a drive for his own. Izumi detects an error in the security program, and Kei assumes that they've been hacked, so they proceed with their plan. Upon learning that the safe is in the office, Tanaka, Takahashi, and Gen infiltrate the building. After defeating the guards, they proceed to the fire escape, which Okuyama remotely locks to keep the guards from following. After killing dozens of guards in an office area, they leave. Not knowing that Kei was amongst the guards, Kei reports to Tasaki that Sato isn't with the group. The security server is still down, so Kei tells his ghost to investigate. On the 40th floor, Okuyama leaves a dummy drive, which Izumi detects. Izumi goes to investigate, but Tasaki sees more decoys being planted throughout the building. Kei's ghost soon finds Okuyama, so Kei reports his location to Tasaki. Izumi and Tasaki corner Okuyama while Kei restarts the system before releasing black particles into an air vent. Tanaka's group arrives at the lobby, so Tasaki orders Okuyama to release Kei's particles into the room. Since only Ajins can see the particles, Tasaki's agents can safely aim tranquilizer darts at the group. With everyone but Sato caught, they set guards at the entrance, awaiting his arrival. As they're transferring Tanaka and the others, one of the men gathers their bags and finds Sato's severed hand inside. Meanwhile, Sato climbs into a construction site's wood chipper, explaining to an employee that when Ajin's bodies are broken down, they regenerate from the largest piece of their body remaining. He grinds himself into the wood chipper, leading him to regenerate from his severed hand inside the building. He quickly kills the men inside, and Kei hurries to confront him. Kei tells Tasaki to release the particles again, blocking Sato's view, so the agents shoot several tranquilizers at him. Suddenly, the darts hover out of him, revealing that his ghost took the shots instead. Sato's ghost proceeds to kill the rest. Sato then shoots Tanaka to help him regenerate, and they retrieve the nerve gas. Kei finally arrives. He tries to mend his wound, but he tells him to run instead and live his life away from Sato. Suddenly, Kei hears Sato from his earpiece. He tells him that he has the gas already, and he intends to release it soon. Sato then challenges him to a fight. Having heard the challenge, Tasaki checks on Kei, but Kei simply tells him to contact the anti-demi unit. Kei arrives at the building's helipad, and his ghost steals the nerve gas canister from Sato. Sato's ghost then fights to steal it back, but Kei grabs it. Meanwhile, Tanaka and his ghost confront Tasaki, but Izumi and Kuro protect him. Sato's ghost distracts Kei's, allowing Sato to fire at him and make him drop the canister. Kei's ghost grabs the canister, but Sato's ghost beats it, releasing the canister from its hands. After defeating her ghost, Tanaka aims a gun at Izumi, but Tasaki slams a chair at him. Izumi maneuvers around Tanaka, successfully apprehending him. When Tanaka asks why she's on Tasaki's side, Izumi clarifies that she's just doing what she believes is right. Kei tries to get to the canister, but Sato shoots, forcing him to hide. Sato picks up the canister and tosses it aside to break it and release the gas. Kei leaps to catch it, then his ghost catches him and throws him out of Sato's view. Injured, Kei shoots himself in the head to regenerate. Downstairs, Tanaka has escaped and shoots Tasaki, but Izumi shields him. Shot in the stomach, she tumbles down but regenerates and tackles Tanaka. Kei hides the canister, then pushes a trolley to block Sato's attacks. He fires tranquilizer darts at Sato, but he also gets shot. Sato shoots himself to regenerate, while Tanaka throws Izumi to the floor. He stabs her with the knife, then mocks her for acting human. Angered, Izumi escapes his grip and puts him in an arm lock. Sato recovers and questions why Kei still protects the humans. Kei, however, clarifies that he simply hates him. His ghost appears and throws Kei against an electric box, electrocuting him so he'd regenerate. Tanaka escapes from Izumi's grasp, but Tasaki stabs him with the tranquilizer. Tanaka tries to get to a shard of glass to kill himself and regenerate. However, he falls unconscious. Sato and Kei continue to fight while Kei's ghosts help him maneuver around Sato. Kei stabs Sato with 2 tranquilizer darts, while Sato's ghost severs Kei's arm. Before Sato can kill himself, Kei shoots his hand. The tranquilizer finally takes effect, and Sato falls unconscious. Suddenly, Sato's ghost goes to him and revives him. Out of bullets, Kei watches Sato get back on his feet. With his weakened body, Kei can't summon his ghost, so Sato aims a tranquilizer gun at his head. and Kei smiles. Within seconds, a helicopter drops the anti-demi unit, who fires taser bullets at Sato, then sprays cold mist at him, freezing both him and Kei. They then shatter their frozen remains. Later, Tasaki explains that Kei urged them to continue, even if it was at his expense. He admits, however, that the anti-demi unit only agreed to help if Kei will be captured as well. Izumi reminds Tasaki about his deal with Kei, but he stresses that he had no choice because they needed to stop Sato. They spot Kei's severed arm and realize that he's regenerating. Once he regenerates, the anti-demi unit takes aim, but Tasaki stops them from firing as Kei jumps out of the building to escape. Elsewhere, Sato also regenerates and recovers his hat.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.